It's lovely to see some fantastic people that we know and we work with, and it's also lovely to see you if you're coming in for the first time. So we've got some of our volunteers here online. We've got Ida, who is our volunteer at the Good Grief Trust and runs our virtual cafe. We have Carol, who is also going to be speaking later, and she runs one of our virtual cafes. We have Jules Lewis and Jackie Brunton, who are our nurse ambassadors, and who will be speaking about how they're going to get involved in National Grief Awareness Week 2023. We have Louisa Nicole. He is coming on board as a Good Grief volunteer who will be speaking about her experience of sadly losing her husband and how she's going to be hopefully hosting a Better Together cafe, which we'll tell you all about in a moment. And we've also got John Adams, who was past president of the NAFD, and John will be talking about his perspective as a funeral director and how he's going to support the campaign and how he will hopefully encourage other people to get involved in the community as well. So, as I said, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Linda Magistris, and I am Chief Executive and founder of the Good Grief Trust. And the Good Grief Trust was founded because I lost my partner, Graham, back in 2014 and really struggled to find the type of support that I really needed. And my GP, the health professionals who treated Graham, didn't seem to have any wide knowledge about local or national support services really under their remit. They didn't have an online database. Everybody seemed to rely on completely different types of bereavement support information. That could be leaflets, it could be a website, it could be a helpline, but they seemed to, there was a disparity basically across the UK. So we thought we'd bring all those services together. So we now have over 900 charity support services and helplines under the Good Grief Trust. And we signpost to tailor support for anybody who has suffered a bereavement under any circumstance anywhere in the country. And we lead on a number of national initiatives, including this National Grief Awareness Week. So let's crack on with the presentation. So we are very excited, as we are every year, to show you our new posters and the visuals and our whole theme for this year's campaign. We're actually in our 5th year. So this was launched in 2019 in collaboration with our APPG. So the Good Grief Trust is secretariat to the All-Party Parliamentary Group on Bereavement Support, which we co-founded with a Member of Parliament, Carolyn Harris, back in 2017. And the Good Grief Trust created this campaign to try and raise awareness of the impact of grief and loss on a national platform. So without further ado, let me share my screen and I will go through our new campaign for you. So, National Grief Awareness Week 2023, again, it will run between the 2nd and the 8th of December. We decided on this early date in December because we wanted those people who were really going to be struggling over the Christmas period and also into that January and February months, as we know, when grief and bereavement can really hit quite hard. We wanted to give people the toolkit to know that they are supported, those people who are grieving, but also the people who are working with those people who are bereaved, to have the knowledge and the experience and where to signpost for support. So National Grief Awareness Week 2023 is all about connecting with our communities through shared events, because we know that people don't often know what services are out there, and there is still a lack of knowledge, a lack of awareness, and that is for the bereaved as well as the health professionals and the general public. So there are gaps in what providers know about each other's services, and we know that that's incredibly important for the professionals as well as those community services to know who is out there so they can actually tap into those wonderful resources that are often literally in their own neighbourhood, and perhaps they don't even know about it. And we don't feel as though we're really utilising the community grassroots network. So that's literally everybody on the high street, the hairdressers, the garages, the HR departments, the corporates, the businesses, all those wonderful support groups that are out there, just running coffee groups for the community. Let's bring people together and maybe widen that network and not just think about it in terms of bereavement support services. Let's really try and widen that out to the volunteers, to the grassroots organisations, because as we know, grief is everybody's business. So we want to create, host, promote, and work together again this year. It's nothing new, because this is exactly what we want to be able to do through National Grief Awareness Week, is to bring people together. But what is new this year is that we want to focus on a cafe. And we know by bringing people together just for a cup of tea and a piece of cake, and to share that bond if you are bereaved, but also to share the knowledge and the experience of the type of services that you're able to offer the community, is absolutely key. So we will be creating stronger connections in communities. That's really, really important to us this year. We will be hosting local Better Together Cafe events across the UK, inviting support services and the bereaved to join us around the table. We will be promoting National Grief Awareness Week 2023 with events online, across social media, and also face-to-face in person. And we will be working together with local networks and volunteers from the non-health professional community. So our hashtag this year is hashtag Better Together. And that's the absolute key that we would love you to put out onto social and also in your communities. So we want to create Better Together cafe events. It's incredibly simple. We will show you in a moment the assets and the cafe packs that you will be able to order. And it's literally, as this cafe image shows, bringing people together for a cup of tea in your community. If you are a support service, if you are a charity, you will be able to promote your own services to your community and to the wider public as well. And as we show here, we've got the Good Grief Trust logo on our hoodie, but in a moment we'll be able to show you how you can put your logo on the assets, on the posters, on the bunting, and make sure that your service is promoted as widely as we can possibly do it. So we want to connect communities and bereavement services. And we're very excited this year. So the 2nd of December, which is a Saturday, will be our launch event, key ask really for everybody to get involved. And this year, our ambassador, Dr. Amir Khan, will be launching for us up in Bradford. So Dr. Amir Khan, I'm sure many of you know, has a huge reach. He's a GP in Bradford, but he's also a broadcaster for Good Morning Britain, and has many other strings to his bow as well. He's just recently launched a new book, actually. So Amir will be hosting our first Better Together Cafe, and that's right in the heart of the UK, in Bradford. And we really hope that, as we have done with previous years, that Good Morning Britain and Lorraine will help us to really promote it on the day, so that we get that national presence, and it will really kickstart the campaign in a really powerful way again this year. And as we know, Amir has a huge social presence, and please do know that I'm sure you all do, that free, very, very simple, but very, very powerful tool that we have, which is social media. Please use it. Tap into everybody that you're working with, share those hashtags, and your promotional events will be able to get out there so much quicker and easier. So we are having Better Together cafes across the UK. So we cannot wait to hear where your cafe will be. We want to cover the 4 nations, as we really want to try every year. But this year in particular, we have some key events planned. As we said, we're launching in Bradford on the 2nd. We're just getting a date for our Welsh event, but we're absolutely excited and thrilled and very proud to be working with To Wish. And To Wish, I'm sure many of you know, is an incredible charity launched by Rhiannon Mannings, who sadly lost her little boy George, and then 5 days later her husband Paul took his own life. But she now runs the most wonderful charity in Wales, and she's now coming into England with that support service. It's for any bereaved parent who up until the age of 25, but it's absolutely hands-on from day one, offering that support. So we're incredibly proud to be working with Tuish this year for a Welsh event. We also have a parliamentary event run with our APPG, and that's running on the Wednesday of the week. And again, very proud to work with our chair, Tobias Elwood, who is Bournemouth East MP, and is absolutely passionate about everything that we're trying to achieve. So we know that that will be an incredible event, and that will be a Better Together Cafe held at the House of Commons, and we know that it will have a lot of interest. So, Better Together Cafe events, very, very simple. You will just order your pack, and in those packs, you will get posters, which we'll show you in a moment. You'll get your bunting, you'll get social media frames and balloons. And all that then entails is finding a venue, finding a date, sending us all that information that we will then upload to our websites, both the Good Grief Trust and National Grief Awareness Week websites, and we will then promote your event as widely as we possibly can. But as you can see here, we've got bunting that has the National Grief Awareness Week logo on one of its triangles, but the other triangle will be empty. It's where you then can get your stickers. Many of your support services and organisations and charities, I'm sure, already have your branding. You've got stickers that you can then literally put on that bunting. So you're advertising your own support service in your community when you put up this bunting, and obviously advertising the National Grief Awareness Week as a whole. So we hope that will really help to promote and advertise your own charity or support service. We're also very excited to launch some more webinars. Every year we have these online events which are incredibly successful because they're very simple, very easy to join for the public as well as the stakeholders as well. This year we've got 2 planned. Good is Great online events. And Good is Great is a webinar that we launched in conjunction with the NHS initiative, the Academy of Fab Stuff, and it was incredibly successful. We had nurses and clinical leads across the country working in bereavement care coming on and sharing their initiatives. And it was all about pinching with pride, really, because when an initiative has been worked on and resources have been ploughed into that initiative, it's so wonderful just to share then and give other organisations and support services across the country those ideas for themselves to take away. So we hope that we have 2 lovely webinars planned that you will all be able to join. We will obviously share those links. We have a compassionate bereavement support in the workplace webinar, and we also have funerals improving services for the bereaved. And John Adams is online, and he's going to be talking briefly about his involvement in that, which is absolutely key because people like John and those other organisations who work in the funeral industry and the sector, it's so important to get it right. As we know, we've only got one chance. And the same thing with the compassionate bereavement support in the workplace. We're working with people like Rolls-Royce, with Sweaty Betty, with the Ministry of Justice, huge corporations across the country who are really passionate. CIPD is another one and the Co-op, who have created wonderful bereavement support policies that they want to share and try and engage those employers and employees to know that they are supported and to give them the tools that they need to go forward. So these are our posters. We're incredibly excited this year to be, again, incredibly simple. They follow the lead of our portfolio over the past 5 years, and they're all about coming together. The Good Grief Trust, as you know, is an umbrella charity. We have hundreds of support services. So we want to be able to promote your trust, your support service, your charity under our umbrella. So it's coming together. So we have Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram formats. They will be digital, online. You can download them and you can print them off and actually put them in GP practices, in hospital waiting rooms. They will be available to order for hard copies as well, which will also be in the pack. There we go. So this is one of our key posters. So as you can see, you literally just slip your logo in. They are editable. So you can put the date and where the actual event is taking place. And the key facilitator, for example, we've got Marie Curie and Samaritans on these t-shirts. These will be changing, actually. These are just preliminary ones. But you can literally just put your logo on that white t-shirt and then put it up on the wall and put it up across social media to show who is facilitating that cafe, which organization is the lead. And then you can invite everybody in, as we'll show you in a moment. This is one of our key posters that will be going out in large digital format to show that everybody be working together, put the kettle on, bring people together for that event, and it will be incredibly powerful in order to share services, share information, and share those initiatives. And on the final day of the week, we again will be lighting up the country orange. So at 6 p.m. on the 8th of December, please do contact your local landmarks. Jackie Brunton will be talking to us in a moment about Blackpool, and she and her community at the Blackpool Teaching Trust. We are so grateful every year that Blackpool Tower lights up for us in orange. We've had County Hall light up. We've had the National Theatre, Media City, Leeds, Liverpool, landmarks like lighthouses and bridges, not just buildings themselves, light up for us on the final day of the campaign. And we have asked if we can light up the House of Parliament this year. So just keep everything crossed for us that we can do that, because the impact, we know, really is incredibly powerful. And we want to be able to make sure that anyone grieving across the country knows that they are supported. And that they have that awareness at home. Maybe they're feeling isolated and lost, and they need to know that actually people do care, and that they can find that support if they want, locally and nationally. So next steps, order your Better Together cafe packs. They will be ready, and we'll let you know the date. We're just finalising the last orders for that, so we'll be able to let you know exactly when you'll be able to order them. It'll be probably early October, but again, we'll give you the exact cost and the date. Start planning your event from now. I think we've actually got 12 weeks, just about. 11 and a bit weeks. So hopefully that's enough time for you to find a venue, find a date, and then start sending invitations out. Please do send us details as soon as you possibly can. Otherwise, we might get inundated at the last minute. We want to be able to get those up onto the website. Please invite your local MP. We have an initiative called Sit with Hope campaign, which we're leading with the APPG. So 650 MPs have been notified about that. So hopefully they'll have it on their radar, and they'll know about National Grief Awareness Week as well. So invite bereavement charities, support services and groups to get involved. And please do contact your local landmarks to light them orange at 6 p.m. It doesn't matter if it's your local library or the local coffee shop, or a huge, amazing building, as I say, like Blackpool Tower. We would love everybody to get involved this year. And please do share those images, go out and capture them on the final day of the campaign and send those images to us, and we'll share them for you. So I hope that that will give you a flavour of National Grief Awareness Week and where we are with the campaign. And we very much look forward to working with you all.